Challenged Lives, Africa at the 21st Century. And we're talking to evangelist EStephens, who recently returned from Africa, and of course he's given us a report on Africa. And of course, Reverend Stephens, before we end this show for today, let's give you an opportunity during this time to talk about some of the things that, or to complete some of the things that you talked about during the last segment.
Sure. And what I shared with you concerning Kakuma at the refugee camp, I was also in Nairobi, and in and around Nairobi. And in and around Nairobi, I encountered, we have Peters Rock, along with its supporters, and we need supporters. I'd like to say we're in need of supporters. We're a small ministry, but we are doing a big work. But in Nairobi, there were 3 places in particular: Langata, Kibera, and Gong Hills. And in Gong Hills, I stayed with the Maasai. The Maasai African, the tribe Maasai, and there it took us an hour and a half. I've got a dear, one of my contacts there is Pastor John and Grace and Kanguda, and they invited me to come and lay hands on the sick in a village that took us about an hour and a half to get to. We literally had to get out of our vehicles to travel to the village. But I met a little boy there named Joseph that impressed my heart. And the reason why Joseph impressed my heart so is that Joseph is a young man with his legs have been amputated. And not only was his legs amputated, he was in a wheelchair that was simply a lawn chair, a plastic lawn chair that was superimposed on a wheelchair frame. And when I saw that, what I saw was injury, but I saw insult to injury. And so she asked me to go and pray with Joseph and to pray with Joseph's family. And so while I was there, it took us an hour and a half to get there, and while I was there, I laid hands on Joseph. And Joseph is a young man who said to me, he said, "Evangelist, I want to be a schoolmaster, a schoolmaster." I said, "Joseph, you can be anything you want, son." Now, here's a young man who have a lot of odds against him, first off, because he finds himself in a wheelchair. He finds himself, and the sad part about Joseph's deal is that they amputate his legs a little bit more every year because his bones as a 9, 10-year-old are continuing to grow. And so whatever they do where he's concerned, they have to continue to redo it. And that's just, I didn't understand that. But nevertheless, Joseph was one of the individuals, and while we were there, Joseph had a friend. Joseph wasn't concerned with Joseph. Joseph was concerned with another little girl in a village close to his who could not hear. And so they went and brought her to me. We laid hands on Joseph's family, on Joseph, prayed with Joseph's family. Right now, we're preparing to send Joseph a wheelchair. And what I've learned is it costs more to send it than it would be just to buy it. That's why we need partners. We need partners that are willing to, individuals, corporations, organizations, churches, that were willing to assist us as we do the work of this ministry. We believe that Joseph deserves a wheelchair. Joseph wants to be a schoolmaster. He has a desire to be educated and to pursue education. This young girl that was brought to me, that we laid hands on, that I laid hands on, who now hears, had an infection across the years, but God reversed that sickness, and now this child can hear. As we move throughout Nairobi, there's a place called Kibera. And Dr. Haney, one of the saddest things that I witnessed was teenage boys sitting on corners sniffing glue. And I was so discouraged by that. I'm a street evangelist here in Nashville. Folk know me, a lot of that know me know that I go out into the communities and just spend Saturdays in the street witnessing for Jesus Christ. And so this particular day, I got out and went into Kibera. Kibera is referred to as the slum. And it's a very large community village, but it's a very slum community. And these young boys, it was so sad because one of the things that Peters Rock is doing, where the children in Kibera is concerned, is that we're wanting to have what America has identified to be a Head Start program. We figured out in America, if we put food on our babies' bellies, when they go to school, they can hear, they can concentrate better. And so that's in Africa, particularly in Nairobi, in Kenya, you have to take a standardized, the 6-year-olds have to take a standardized test to even get in school. And if they don't pass the standardized test, they don't get in school. And so what we're wanting to do is to assist them where their needs, their nutritional needs are concerned, that they could be better students. Those who are already 12 and 13, 15 and 18 and not in school, we're wanting to create a tailoring program, a skill, a trade that we can buy sewing machines and minister to them in that way. Because what I witnessed was not only sad to see, but it reminds me of our children here in America who have opportunity,